Honestly, I really don't know.
No, it's gonna fit.
I don't think. Look how swollen it is. It's not gonna fit in there.
No, try. No one's looking.
Welcome to RM Reviews. I'm Rafi, this is Bashar, and this is Krita. And today we're at Speed Vegas. We're reviewing a Lamborghini Huracan, a Porsche GT3RS, and a Ferrari 488 GTB. So the criteria we're judging the cars on today is going to be for the average driver. So it's going to be based on comfort, fun factor, and performance. So I'm going to be driving each of the cars, they're going to be driving each of the cars, and we're just going to compare, get you guys some B-roll, and let's go for it. Big motions, roll.
Behold, the Lamborghini Huracan all-wheel drive. A car so fast it leaves cheetahs feeling insecure. With 631 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of just 2.9 seconds, this beast devours the asphalt like it's breakfast. Its sleek design is practically an art piece on wheels, perfect for anyone who wants to make a grand entrance or exit really fast. It's clear this bull is not just about looks, it's a track-dominating monster. The GT3RS is the car that makes going fast look like child's play. With a howling 4.0-liter flat-six engine producing 518 horsepower, it rockets from 0 to 60 in a blink and you'll miss it 2.9 seconds. This car doesn't just drive, it practically teleports, and it's a precision instrument crafted for those who consider the track their playground. Lastly, the Ferrari 488 GTB, the Italian stallion that's as wild as it is refined. And while it's the slowest on the Nürburgring out of the three, it's packing 661 horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of a blistering 3 seconds. This car is the epitome of speed and style, but it's not just about straight line speed. The 488 GTB dances through corners with the grace of a ballerina on espresso. Step into this masterpiece and you're not just driving anymore, you're conducting a symphony of power and performance. Now I'm going to put up all the stats on screen for you guys to pause and compare.
Gotta be smooth with your hands, brother.
Yeah, you're ready.
Well, I know I'm right.
I'm ready.
You just gotta be smooth with your hands, that's all.
You're a big help.
It's
hard to hear you because that black thing's covering my right ear.
Perfect. Apex to your left. Stay left. Accelerate more. Up. A little bit of throttle. Back to the right. Now squeeze. You gotta pay attention, brother. Your plug is so close, about 1 inch above
Alright, so we just drove each of the cars. We're gonna go over basically what we felt, what we didn't feel, what we liked, what we didn't like. Let's start off with comfort. You drove the Huracan first.
Yeah, the first.
Okay, so what do you think of it?
It's very comfortable, but it's not easy to drive at all. It understeers and there's a lot of power. So they might see I almost spun out. I saved it.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So it was
a lot of the times
power.
you try to go into the corner, it would literally want to go to the wall.
Yeah.
Every time.
The instructor said 10% throttle on the curve. That's it.
What do we rate that for comfort wise? What do we rate the Huracan?
Comfort wise, I would give it a solid 8. That was comfortable.
Really?
Yeah, I was comfortable.
I'd give it a 7. What'd you think? 7,
Like a
7,
5,
8.
bro.
Really?
Yeah. It is also my dream car, so I'm a little biased.
A little biased. Okay, well, so 7, 5, 8 for comfort. What do you think about performance?
Performance-wise, it was not easy to drive. It was really fast. I would give it an 8 also for performance. Just because compared to the GT3, it was not as torquey. I felt like the GT3 was just lighter and easier around the track.
Yeah. The Lamborghini's have had a lot more power delivery. Right when you step on it, that car would just go. I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Yeah, same. 6. I'll go 6.
Okay.
Fuck the half. I'm biased. I love that car. Fun factor, I'm giving it a 10.
I'm gonna give the Huracan a 10 too. That exhaust is something else.
Come on.
Sounds crazy.
Yeah. So what do you think of the Porsche?
I'm gonna be honest with
Comfort
you.
wise.
I put the Porsche too high, bro. Like, first of all, on the turns, like it would overturn, like dramatically overturn. But I do admit the Porsche, it would stick to the floor and it would eat every turn like up. So I feel like it is meant for this, but only for like professionals. Because why? Because every turn I did, I overturned. So that's what slowed my lap time down. Other than that though, it was fast as fuck though. Like when you would let me full throttle it, that shit would take off.
Comfort wise, I didn't like sitting in it. It wasn't the most comfortable.
that was it for me.
I mean, it wasn't comfortable at all, but like I said, I feel like out of all the cars, that car is meant to kill shit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Performance, bro, 10 out of 10. It's fast as fuck.
Okay, he'll give that a 10 too.
No, like literally, it was fast. Like I said, the only problem is just the overturn. But other than that, everything else was good. Honestly, for comfort,
So what do you give for comfort?
Like a 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
So 10 out of 10 for performance, 10 out of 10 for fun factor.
Hell yeah.
It was my first time driving the Porsche, so I was very surprised. Like, it's too fast for me. I'm not like a race car driver like these
like
guys.
I said, I feel like it's for professionals. Bro.
Right. So I do agree with that. You do gotta know what you're doing with the Porsche because you will crash. Comfort, I don't really like the coupe. I would say like a 6, 7, just because I like Porsche.
For the GT3's paddle shifters, they're really small. Right next to paddle shifter, there's that windshield and the signal one. So those are in the way. So it's like that was downside too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So then comfort wise, you said 6.
We'll say 6.
Okay.
6 for the Porsche.
Comfort.
It's not 5. It's not comfortable.
I'm gonna give it. It wasn't that bad, but I am gonna give it like a 7. Fun factor, I'm gonna give it a 9. It was really fun. That thing just lets loose.
Performance and fun is
10.
Come on, 10.
We'll give it a 10. Because that exhaust sounds different
like
than every other car.
So I drove the Ferrari first. The Ferrari was great. It definitely had a lot of power, but the problem with the Ferrari is the paddle shifters are column mounted. So when I'm turning the wheel, it doesn't follow me. So if I'm a race car driver, I'm expecting that. If I'm just driving every day, it's not comfortable to do that. The seats weren't that bad. I'd give that an 8 comfort-wise. Fun factor, the exhaust was really nice. That flat plane V8 is insane. I'll give it maybe like an 8. And then performance, I had the best lap time out of all of us with that car. So I'm gonna say the Ferrari took it for performance. I'll give it a 10.
Honestly, I'm still getting used to the supercars. That was the last one that I drove, so I was more comfortable. So I had a lot of fun with it, but compared to the GT3, it's not even close, bro.
Okay, so then
Fun fact.
But the thing that does suck though is you gotta remember we're not professionals. So like if we were professionals, the
Speak for yourself.
GT3 would shit on everything.
I'm gonna switch that up. I think just based off what I drove, I think the Ferrari, actually the GTB is better than the Porsche on the track. Because I drove the same with both. I've driven both before too, so it's not like I got used to them.
Yeah.
With the Ferrari, I got a 1 minute 1 second lap, 1 minute 1.8, and with the Porsche, I got 1:04.6. So there was a 3-second difference, and I drove it the same. That's best lap out of 5. Overall, what do you guys think takes the cake out of those 3 cars?
Ooh, what do you think?
I'm gonna give it to the Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Honestly, GT3.
GT3. I'm gonna say Lambo because that is my dream car still. So I'm still going Lambo.
There you have it. Just based on that, it really depends on the driver. Each car is great in their own ways, but it really depends on what you like the most. But stay tuned for the next episode because we do have a special one coming. We're gonna be testing out a Ram TRX with 702 horsepower Hellcat engine versus a Cybertruck. Not in a race, but in off-roading. See how that goes.
Yeah, that's gonna be
That's
crazy.
gonna be fun. But with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, tell your mom, grandma, dad, brother, sister, dog, fish, and uncle.
Everybody.
And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Big
Peace out.
motion.
All right. What exactly happened?
For the Lamborghini Huracan, in terms of comfort, Richard scored the car an 8, I scored it a 7, and Krita scored it a 5, giving a total score of about 6.6. As for performance, Richard scored the car an 8, I scored it a 6.5, and Krita scored it a 6, giving an overall score of about 6.8. And lastly, we all gave it 10s for fun factor. That car definitely took it in the cake in terms of just driving the car, having a great time with the sound of the exhaust, the feel of the drive, you know, the responsiveness of the pedal. That car was definitely up there. Now, as for the Ferrari 488 GTB in terms of comfort, Richard scored the car a 7, I gave it an 8, Krita gave it a 7 as well, giving it an overall total score of about 7.3. Now, I will say that car definitely was the most comfortable car out of the three, hands down. You know, spacious interior. The only issue with that car for me was the infotainment system because it did not have one. You know, it was in the dashboard, which was kind of annoying, but again, that's a supercar. It's not meant to be driven every day. As for performance, Richard gave the car an 8, Krita gave it a 7, and I gave it a 10 for an overall score of 8.3. Now, that car, I will say, might not be the fastest on the track, definitely not the most track-focused car. That's going to be for the Porsche, but hey, it was a really fun car, and it did do really good to the tracks. And lastly, for the Ferrari, in terms of fun factor, I gave the car an 8, Richard gave it a 7, Krita gave it a 6 for an overall score of about 7. Now, as for the Porsche GT3RS in terms of comfort, Richard gave the car a 6, I gave it a 7, and Krita gave it a 5 for an overall score of 6. As for performance, Krita gave the car a 10, I gave it a 9, and Richard also gave it a 9 for an overall score of 9.3 in performance on that GT3RS, and I can definitely see why. And lastly, for the Porsche, in terms of fun factor, I scored the car a 9, Richard gave it a 10, and Krita gave it a 10 as well, for an overall score of 9.66. Safe to say the Porsche was definitely the most fun car on the track. I disagree a little bit, but hey, it was one of the most fun cars I've ever driven in my life. Comfort-wise, I will say that overall, it had to have gone to the Ferrari, and in terms of performance, it goes right back to the Porsche. So that's 2 for Porsche, 1 for Ferrari. Lamborghini's still way behind, but hey, Lamborghini has my heart. So stay tuned for the next video. We're going to be testing out a Ram TRX with 702 horsepower versus a Tesla Cybertruck in off-roading. Which one performs better, and which one's a lot easier to drive and doesn't have to break down and charge all the time. Now, with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.